everybody. I hope everybody is fine by the grace of God. Yeah, I want to just help you to know how to use the Excel to identify the endpoints of any graph you want to make. Okay, and for you to identify the endpoint of any graph you're going to make, you have to first get in the change in you have to first get in the average of the volume or the median of the volume, then the slope of the titration you're making. Okay, so now after the next thing you have to get is to first get in uh, the data for your volume. Okay, get in the data for your volume and now move to the data of your pH, and then for fix it into the Excel. As you can see, then what the next thing you have to move to is to move to the uh, volume. As you can see, I've placed it there. Just put in maybe average of the volume and then move to the slope also, so that we can input in our data there, or we are going to generate our data into each cells there for it to be able to help us identify our endpoint. Now the next thing what you're supposed to do here is to input in our formula. As you can see, I've input in my formula here because we're starting with a volume of 0. Plus you're not going to put it into the first cell. Okay, you're going to put it into the second cell to find in the average of the volume, which is going to be sum of the a2 is what 0 here, and what a4 is 5 here, divided by 2 because you are finding average. Okay, and if you do it, you're going to get 2.5. You get right. So that is 2.5 for the first cell. So for us to do it for each of them, just let's say we're going to autofill, and it's going to generate our number for us. After autofilling, you know the first value, the first cell is not having this thing, it's not having a value, so we can autofill back to the top. Okay, you can autofill back to the top, autofill back to the top, and it's going to add a number to it. Okay, it's not going to change any data there, just going to add the last number to it. I'm going to get it to be 1.25 there. Okay, now moving to the slope aspect. The slope, we're going to input our formula in also in the second cell because starting from a volume of 0. Okay, so the first thing to do is to input your formula. Make sure you put in an accurate formula. Okay, and the formula is supposed to be changed in the change in pH over change in volume. And for us to do that, we're going to say what this one is going to be this volume, which is what is under which column? Change in pH first, sorry. So change in pH is going to be under which column? B. Okay, so B is under B2 minus B4. Okay, minus B4. Then you close the brackets. You get it. Change in volume, so over. We also have another one. We're going to move to this side. Okay, a4 minus a5 minus a2, sorry, minus a2. Okay, bracket close. So that is change in volume over change in pH. If you get it, you're going to get a negative value. Don't worry, don't be worried at all. Just going to help us get in our endpoint for it. Okay, so let's just autofill for it. This one also, they're going to get all of them are going to be negative values because I've done it because of the way I've done it. Okay, you're going to change in pH. You're not doing it positively. Okay, you're doing it in order. The first one and the second one, then all over that. Okay, so after that, we're going to autofill backwards also for us to get in the first one. It's going to give us no value. Okay, there's no value for it. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are supposed to put a graph, but we are not putting a graph of volume against pH. Okay, because we want to determine the graph of this one, we can't plot this one first. Okay, we are not going to plot this first. No, we are not plotting this. Do you get it? We are not plotting this, but we are plotting this. Okay, for us to determine the endpoint of this graph. Okay, so let's go to insert, then go to scatter graph. Okay, scatter graph. Okay, that is how it's going to be. Now after getting this, The next thing you're going to do is to right click on this place, right click at this place, right click and click and say select data. Click select data, then go to add data, then go to x values, then click on the x values, then go to the x value represent the volume here. So you're going to add x, the value for the x series here, then go back to the y value. Because there's a number there, that's why I cleaned it there. Okay, there's not supposed to be a number located here. It's not supposed to be a number located here. It's supposed to be only equal to. Go to the y value is the pH here. Let's click and drag. Let it come to the last place. So that if you are done, click on OK. Because you have added two series, you can see series 1 and series 2, which are for x and y, volume and pH. Then click on OK again. Then we are done for now. Now for here, as you can see, you are confused. How are you going to identify the endpoints and other things here? You see, this one, the next, before, because we want to identify the endpoint, you have to make everything look clear and legible for us to see. Okay, and we have to make sure that they intersect. Okay, and the intersection point is what is going to help us identify the endpoint of the graph. So the next thing we are going to do is just let's right click on this curve line here. Let's right click on it. After right clicking, let's click on format data series. Sorry, you have to first click on format data series, and if you click on it, to send it to bring it to this place. After that, you can click on secondary axis. Okay, click on secondary axis. Now if you click on secondary axis, you can see that there's an intersection showing that it's intersecting it there. Okay, it's intersecting. So we can enlarge this for now. Let's enlarge this. Okay, now after doing this, you can see that there's the number here is a range of 5. Okay, difference of 5. So let's format the axis here. Right click on this place, click on format axis. Okay, go to measure, clean the 5 and put in 1. Okay, so the difference will be 1 1, as you can see, so we can be able to identify the endpoint. Okay, now if you are done, you can just still right click again. Okay, right click on this place. Now you can see the endpoint here is between two values. Okay, you can see this, the vertical one here represents what our, it represents our pH here, and this is our volume. Okay, the volume is what here. You get it? So the next thing you're going to do is to first put in, let's right click here. Okay, let's right click here, then move to let's go to add data labels. Add data labels for us to identify some numbers. Okay, now if you add the data labels here, then we can see that. Let's enlarge this here. Let's
Now
enlarge
the
it small.
intersection
Let it
point
go to
there
data.
is between
now
16
now
and
the intersection
17.
point
Is
here.
between 16 and 17. So we have two curve, okay, intersection, it is being intersected. The first one is the sharp curve, and the second one is the normal curve. Okay, and you can see that it is on the series 1 and on 9.25. Okay, so you have to just check it out. You can say it's between 16 and 17, which means that it will be around 16.5 or 16.4 mils. Okay, which is connected to the volume, which is on horizontal axis. So that is the answer for now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget